What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 505 interview series. Big D coming at you from the 505 patio lounge because, again, another hot, sweltering day going on inside that lounge. So, running the show from outside again today. Welcome, everybody. Great show. Glad to be back from the holiday break there. But before we bring our guest on today, as a reminder, click the link tree that's pinned down in the chat if you're on YouTube, or in the description if you're watching on other social media platforms right now. Go support my advertisers, sponsors, and preferred retail partners. They help continue to keep the programming going on the show, and your support does also help go a long way in keeping the show running. You take advantage of the exclusive promo codes that are only available to my viewers out there. So whether you're looking for sticks, accessories, I got you covered. Because I'm here for you, because I'm a man of the people, here for the people. So go take advantage of it. Use those promo codes. Go save yourself some coinage. Man, tonight, my guest, this brand has been around since 1994, so 30 years. This brand has been around. You may have seen it around. You may not have. You may not know a whole lot about it, but hand-rolled cigars, handcrafted premium tobacco cigars that come out of the Dominican Republic. Out there, many names, but Espanola is their main line that they run, with a Connecticut and a Maduro, as well as a special limited edition here, Year of the Dragon, that they have, which we'll get into and talk about, plus other partnerships that they have. And this man, he is the president of the company from JM Tobacco here. So we have Anto Mahroukian joining us in. Welcome, Anto.
Daniel, how are you, man? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, you are welcome. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on. How about you kind of give the people a little synopsis or rundown about you and the brand a little bit?
Of course, yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Anto Mahroukian, president of JM Tobacco. I'm proud to be a part of JM Tobacco. It's a family business that my father and I built over the past 30 years. And as a second-generation tobacconist, I've had a privilege of growing up in the industry and understanding what cigar enthusiasts truly want. Here at JM Tobacco, we just create high quality, consistent products that are affordable for everybody. Yeah, I'm smoking the Year of the Dragon, but I guess we can talk about that later, Daniel.
Yeah, we can on there. So I'm going to light up here the Maduro.
Nice choice.
On that. And go. And I have also got the Connecticut in there. So we'll run our way through the brand lined up here probably tonight, depending on how quickly I'm smoking tonight or not. On that. So back in 1994, you and your father created the company out there.
Yeah, it actually started from a birthday gift that I got my father in 94. So the whole concept started in 94, but our first production cigars are out of 1996. So it took a couple of years for product development. Cheers to my fellow Armenian.
Yes, Ken there talking about that. Fellow Armenian, definitely got watch. So what was the idea behind wanting to actually create the brand? Or did you guys have a retail shop before you started with the brand?
No, it basically fell on our lap. My dad, being an entrepreneur who he is, he was in the jewelry business at the time. And, he had some health issues with smoking cigarettes for most of his life. So he quit smoking cigarettes and took up cigars in the early 90s. And for his birthday one year in 1994, it was November, I had just started my senior year of high school, and I got him 2 cigars, they were Connecticut cigars, and he would smoke Swisher Sweets and stuff like that back then. And I really he really enjoyed that cigar I got him, and he asked me, he said, "Where'd you get it? Can I get a box, or buy me a box?" And I told him that those are really expensive cigars. A box of those are close to $500. That's a lot of money for me here, a 17-year-old kid, And his eyes lit up. He said, "How much? $20 for each of these?" And I said, "Yeah, they're premium cigars, really good stuff." So, his eyes lit up. You saw kind of a light bulb shining over his head. At the time, him and his brother were in the rope chain jewelry business, and he had a factory making jewelry out in the Dominican Republic. So he said he saw an opportunity. He said, "Wait, those cigars selling here for $20, And as a man who always says, "I can do that, I can do that," my dad was like, "I can do that." So he calls his brother up. He says, "I'm sending you some cigars. Find a local manufacturer who makes these." He did. We found a guy. We ordered our first 10,000 cigars, and Española was born.
That's that's fascinating on that, and you know um, that your dad already had those Dominican connections going on down there, and it's
Yeah,
just
no,
like it just kind of was like you said, fell in your lap. It's like it could not have been set up any better. It's like, oh,
absolutely.
these come from the Dominican. Oh, great! I know the Dominican. I do business in the Dominican. Why can't we
There
make
you
this
go.
work?
Yeah, so the entry barrier was kind of low for us, so it was very, very easy. And for my dad, it was like, he said, "Hey, if I can't sell any of the cigars, I'll have cigars for the rest of my life." So that's how he took it.
So when you had that when that first initial run came out, did you guys feel that you had a market out there to tap into? I
We didn't
mean,
know the market.
back there in that mid '90s out there, that's a few years before I started smoking, which was 2000 is
Mhm.
when I started smoking. So
Yeah, we had no idea what we kind of stumbled upon. As you know, the mid '90s had a huge cigar boom, and at the time when we got into the business in '94, '95, there was a shortage of tobacco in the whole country of the Dominican Republic. There were record low years of planted tobacco in the country in '91, '92, which led to the shortage in '94, '95. So cigars were scarce, and if you had it, retail tobacco shops were buying it at the time. A lot of companies were back ordered; they weren't able to kind of fulfill the demand. And luckily, we met a manufacturer that we partnered up with, and it was great. I still work with that manager till today, same factory manager, and also a master blender. We still have a relationship till today.
that's good, and that 30 years later, you've continued on with working, and they manufacture everything that you make, or have you kind of branched out a little bit with some other manufacturers?
So yeah, recently for the first time ever, actually, we branched out and we partnered up with Blackbird Cigar Company to make our Year of the Dragons.
Oh, okay, excellent,
Yeah,
with Jonas.
yeah, Jonas and his
Yeah,
brother. Hmm.
yeah. So here is the Year of the Dragon. Actually, I'll
That's
take the cellophane off of this so everybody can see. So what made this blend special, or why after 30 years come out with a new blend?
Yeah, so we had never done the Zodiac sign years or the LEs, the limited edition cigars that a lot of companies do, and we were like, why not? I, this was kind of my baby here. This was an item that I brought to the table. I said to myself, I like smoking these kind of cigars, which are Cuban-esque. They're spicy. They're rich in flavor, full flavored, medium to full bodied cigar. So I kind of, we started in 1994, 95, 96 with the Connecticut blend, just because the Connecticut blends were so hot in the 90s. You had to have a Connecticut blend. And to offset that kind of mild, creamy, light cigar smoker, we ended up coming up with a Maduro, which is on the other spectrum of a full bodied, full flavored cigar. So there was nothing kind of middle of the line, somewhere between a full body and a light cigar. And I like smoking cigars like this, so I kind of made this limited edition to something that I like to smoke.
I did that's one thing that a lot of brand owners or manufacturers have told me, is that you don't make cigars for the people, you make them for yourself, and if the people like them, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. In the beginning, for sure, we had to have, we made the Connecticut cigar for the people. But I will tell you, at the time, that was my go-to cigar. Connecticut's were my jam. You could smoke it in the morning, lunch, without anything to eat, even at night, of course. So it was my go-to cigar at the time. Plus, it was a very popular cigar. So kind of made it for everybody, but also we enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, Connecticut's are that good any time of day cigar for a lot of people out there. It's just not a morning stick, but it's good any time of day. Some
Hmm.
people, depending on their palate, don't like smoking anything heavy. But since I've been doing this for a long time, it doesn't at this point. It doesn't really matter. I'll smoke
Sure.
anything at any time.
Same here.
So, what was the initial reaction to your original two blends that you put out when you went to try and sell them into shops?
Yeah, so this was summer of 1996. We had just signed up for this trade show that we had no idea existed. We doing a little bit of research about industry trade shows and industry gatherings. We stumbled upon the organization of RTDA, which later became the IPCPR, which later became the PCA. So in 1996, we attended our first RTDA/PCA trade show. That was in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I mean, just the reaction of everybody coming to the booth, lining up to place an order without even trying the cigars was just overwhelming. I mean, we were like, what have we stumbled upon? What is this? So we actually sold out of our initial order within the first 2 days of the show.
Wow. Uh, how have you been able to keep that cost control down on your sticks over the years to one keep the quality and integrity of using high quality tobacco and keep that price point where you're not breaking the bank on it, but it's also not a gas station cigar.
Absolutely. It's a great question. For years, that's the formula. How to kind of either save money every year, or at least stay the same. So back 10 years ago, my father started planting tobacco in San Andres, Mexico. So it did two things for us. It secured tobacco for us for a very long time. It helped us keep the blend consistency, and also, going from seed to cigar, you're really saving a lot of money. So having that tobacco for us, year after year. Of course, initially it took a couple of years to get the tobacco going, the fermentation process, and then aging as well. But after a while, the crops have been pretty good. No major issues with any of the crops coming out of Dominican Republic. So really, out of Mexico, and that really helped us because we were using a lot of the tobacco out there that we planted into the cigars across the board that we have. Our Española cigars and our JM's Dominicans, which are our value priced cigars that are in boxes of 50. So it's really helped us keep costs down for sure, as having our own growth of tobacco fields.
For sure. And you guys have your own fields there in the Dominican as well, or do you just source those yourself?
No, we definitely source those. We don't have fields in Dominican Republic. Just importing from Mexico into the DR.
Okay, that's good. So
Yeah.
where did the name Espanola come from for the cigar for the line?
Yeah, for sure. So my dad, he said, "Hey, what do you think? Let's come up with a brand name." And I did kind of like research, looked at the map of the Dominican Republic, and on one of the maps I saw across the country, it said Hispaniola, and I said, "What is Hispaniola?" And I'd never heard of that before as a country. And the island itself, the island of Haiti and Dominican Republic, is named Hispaniola. So we kind of took that name and made it a little sexier, dropped the H and the I, and made it E, and so it reads Española, which I think flows a little better. It's a little sexier. People get it confused with Spain, but hey, these are Dominican cigars handmade in the Dominican Republic.
It's the one thing that has caught my eye, especially a few years back at the trade show when I saw your sign with Espanola, and I had to come over and talk a couple years ago, and I'm just like, I'm fascinated by that because I'm from and grew up in Espanola, New Mexico.
There you go.
So for me, it kind of holds a special place in my heart. This is where I'm from, and when you see a
That's
name
awesome.
like that, so it kind of latches on.
Yeah, we're familiar with the city. Yeah, absolutely. Not named after Española, New Mexico, though.
That's all right. But I get it because because as I was sitting here looking at the band, I'm like, okay, so it's got so it has the island on it, or the Dominican, and then
The
Hispaniola
Dominican.
makes, yep,
Hmm.
totally makes sense out there
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
That's
So
good.
these bands are our original design. We haven't changed it. We've just added the secondary band on these. So my Connecticut's are what they were back in the day. The Maduros are what they were back in the day. Um, so yeah, we really haven't changed it.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you don't need to reinvent the wheel if it works
Yeah, we're very traditional in that sense.
out there. So then the other question there, because the cigar, because the brand, not the JM side of things, but the Espanol side of things, do tend to be at a far lower price point than most premium cigars out there. How do you get out there and fight that stigmatism out there that it's a cheap stick, or it's a gas station stick, or it's something that well, if it costs like that, it can't be that good.
Yeah, well, look, this is the reality is that we are making a cigar from seed, so it's not touching any middleman, and we're a very small family business that doesn't spend a lot of money advertising it and has ridiculous overhead costs. So we can definitely produce a great cigar at a decent price because we know what the cost of cigars are out there as manufacturers, as people who've been in the industry for a very long time, and I can tell you these prices out there are kind of they make me giggle, because we know uh, how much that tobacco is and how much that cigar costs, So it's funny, but hey, there are people who market themselves like that, and that's great for them. But we kind of keep to what we do, traditional, classic, make it affordable for everybody.
But I think that's important too. I mean, it provides that important structure out there, especially for a small boutique line, and a boutique line like yourself that's in now 30 years. So you've done something right to maintain that sustainability of the brand, where it's like, well, what do we do? It's like we do what we do because people enjoy what we do and what we
Yeah,
put
yeah, because we've been in the business for so long, a lot of our costs have kind of come down. Initial costs from starting way back ago, it's really come down, and so we're able to offer these prices to people.
This is a very good cigar. I have had your Connecticut before. I've not had the Maduro, so this is my first time actually smoking the Maduro. It's very
Great,
nice.
thank you.
Not heavy or overwhelming on the palate whatsoever. It's got very nice flavor to it. The aromatics are fantastic. The draw is great. If you didn't tell me that this was a $10-12 cigar, I would have guessed it was more,
Yeah,
just based upon how it smokes. And
thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, right around $10, those cigars, depending on the size, but quality stuff. What you're smoking has a San Andreas Maduro wrapper on there with a Connecticut broadleaf binder and Dominican fillers, Criollo 98.
I Now, I was gonna ask if there was broadleaf somewhere in this, just based upon some of the tastes that I've been picking up on this. The broadleaf taste is very nice. It's very prevalent and mixes very well with what you expect out of a San Andreas taste there. And of course, you said there was the Criollo was in there as part of the filler.
98, yes.
Yes, it's a fantastic smoke. I mean,
Yeah.
ah, it's good.
Hey,
I mean,
thank you.
like literally, I was just like, as I've been here smoking, I'm like, man, it tastes like there's broadleaf in here somewhere. I wonder if
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, makes sense on it. So you really went with kind of that dark,
We
dark,
went with the
dark.
dark,
Yeah.
except that the Connecticut broadleaf, although dark, adds this sweetness to the tobacco.
Hmm.
Whereas the San Andreas has that smokiness to it. I always think of like a smoke out, like a barbecue. That's the type of smell and smoke flavors I get from a San Andreas. But then we add it with a Connecticut broadleaf. It puts that like barbecue sauce sweetness to it. So
Yeah, it's very good.
thank you.
The aromatics off the foot are fantastic.
Appreciate
This
you.
is very good, and I gotta say, this is a very, very oily wrapper. More oilier than most San Andreas that you pick up and smoke.
Mm, yeah,
So,
a lot
um,
of it has to do with the fermentation process. That's for sure.
it's delicious
Thank you.
out there. So now that you've come on, and I saw your press release there that you're going to continue on with the Year of the Dragon as a core line smoke.
Yeah, so it's done really well for us, Daniel. This is a blend that I'm really proud of. It's a blend that I really enjoy. So I don't want it to go away. You know,
Well, you're the boss.
yeah, and also it's received very high accolades. We received a 93 rating in the Cigars and Spirits magazine, which we're absolutely thrilled about. And the Maduro received a 93 in the Enthusiast Report, the July issue. So we're smoking some good cigars here today. So yeah, I really enjoy this. People have been buying, so the response is really great. And when I saw you over at the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival, the response out there was phenomenal as well. People were coming back and saying, "Yeah, I like these. These are really great. Let me buy another 4-pack." We were selling 4-packs of these at the event, and it was wonderful, the response. So because I don't want to see a cigar that I enjoy go away. That I don't want to be like I can't find these anymore. I know how the consumer also feels. If they enjoy it, they want to buy it. So we are bringing this back in an Española Corojo line. It won't be called the Year of the Dragon, but it'll be a line extension to our Connecticut's and our Maduros, offered in the same 4 traditional sizes of Robusto, Toro, Churchill, and a Bellicoso, which is a Figurado.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, good. So it's gonna. So are you good? Then going to continue on doing more zodiac sign stuff to maybe hit some of these more golds in the rough of what you thought would be a limited edition smoke that turned out to be. Now we got to carry this on as a core line.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's a great question. This is the first time we've done anything like this. And to be honest, we did this Year of the Dragon not because so much of the zodiac sign, just a limited edition, kind of just to get the word out about our core line, Española and Maduro. I think it added a little bit of excitement and brought some energy to the brand as well. So the intention was to kind of highlight the brand in general, not just the Year of the Dragon blend, but the whole brand in general. And I think it did a great job of that. So to answer your question, I think we will do more limited edition releases, and not necessarily zodiac signs, but definitely limited edition releases.
Excellent. Now,
And
well, I mean, now that you've seen that it
yeah,
it works, that people were very receptive about it, and the fact that it's like, well, you as just not a consumer, but also as the boss says, I like it and I want to keep it.
yeah,
So you
and
can make that choice.
yeah. And I was speaking with Ryan last week at the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show. He brought up a great point. He said, "Hey, this would be a great idea to kind of test blends out. You bring it out, limited edition, see the reaction of the people." And I thought that was interesting as well. That wasn't the intention here, but it worked out to be that way, to be a test saying, "Hey, I like it. Let's put it out there. Let's see if you guys like it." And the response has been great.
That's excellent. And you've also partnered up there with the Cigar Bros with their travel doors out there where you can purchase basically a sampler pack for inside that comes with the travel door.
That's right. They sell it at their own website, the Cigar Bros in San Diego. And those are my boys out there, Alan and Ramon. Sorry, I blanked out for a sec. But yeah, the great guys. Ramon, who owns the company, sells my cigars in that on his website. So the wrap is also a JM wrap. It won't say Cigar Bros, but actually have two of our cigars in there, and he has a blend of 40 cigars, 20 in the Connecticut's and 20 in the Maduro.
Excellent. Now, I have seen them sell, not out in any of the shops in the wild around me, but I have seen them out there at the trade shows, and they've come up where they've had seen these with the wraps on them, and I think it's such a great idea to really get your name out there. And this, I gotta say, as light as this humidor is, like it it is heavy duty. I mean, it looks like it's just like a styrofoam cooler, but this thing is tough and strong and
Yeah.
you know,
At the Rocky Mountain show, I was actually jumping on that just to prove that it won't crush, and
I
it did a
don't,
good job.
I don't know if my 260-pound body should do that.
Maybe it's the next video. Test it out. If it crushes, we'll send you a new one.
But yeah, that's very cool. So did they approach you about wanting to work with them on that, or did you approach them?
Yeah, so we've been working with them for the longest time. They're also wholesalers in the cigar business here in California and San Diego. So we've had a relationship with them for a really long time. But they also have another product. It's almost like a cigar cooler, where they have slide out trays that go into liquor stores, people who don't have humidors, and we have 2 rows of our cigars there and bundles of our JMs in their humidor. So we've been working with them for a really long time. They came to us with this approach, and I gave him a deal on the cigars so that it can go in the humidors, and he created the wrap on the outside packaging, and it's done great so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They if any of you that are watching in chat haven't seen any of the humidors manufactured by Cigar Bros, just not their portable humidors, but their standalone unit humidors, they are gorgeous. They are beautiful. They look good, and they make various different sizes. And then they have the retail units that have the shelves, and really, most of what I've seen, fit tubos out there on them. But,
that's right.
Yeah, but fantastic. What's going on, Johnny? Good to see you. Wow, yeah, that's a great deal, though. But and that's also, I think, for gift wise, it's the perfect gift. It's like, here, I'm gifting you a travel door that's also stuffed full of cigars. Enjoy.
yeah. It's like a one-stop shop. Here you go. You got cigars, plus you got a place to store them and keep them fresh.
Johnny, it's way too hot to be in the garage lounge, so we're sitting out on the patio, out here, enjoying a smoke, talking to Anto, realizing I didn't turn the porch light on, so as it gets a little bit darker, I'm going to become invisible by the blackness out there. I'll have to take care of that in a minute. Yeah, it's a great idea. So now, from what you've seen this year with the company growth this year, the success of the Year of the Dragon, now moving into a core line cigar out there, do you feel that you achieved the goals that you guys set forth when you started 2024?
Oh, absolutely. I think the main goal was to kind of get the name out there, and for Year of the Dragon to have success. And it's done that. We have 100 boxes left from the 500 initial. So, that'll go in the next couple of months. And so, yeah, very happy with the success of that. And as far as, popularity, brand name, we've definitely done a good job of getting our name out as well.
That's fantastic. So do you already have an idea of where you want to go for 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of things in the pipeline, a lot of projects working. Number one, our main project is to get the packaging for the Española Corojo line for the PCA show. We're going to be introducing that out there in 2025. They will start shipping May 1st of 2025 in the 4 different lines. And that's the Española Year of the Dragon blend, but being added to our core line. So that's the major project for 2025. Also for our JM's Dominican line, We're adding 2 new packaging styles. It's a 3-pack sealed fresh pack in the Connecticut JM's Dominican line and also in the Corojo line. Right now, our 3-pack sealed in freshness is available in a Sumatra and a Maduro, but we're also bringing it in the Connecticut and the Corojo. So lots of things going on for next year.
That so you really had thought this out in advance, that really if a retailer shows up to PCA and buys from you, literally within 2 weeks that you're going to be shipping out product to them.
Oh, the worst thing is for people to be waiting on these orders.
Oh yeah, I that's been the
We
problem.
know, yeah. So we know with experience that if a month, 2 months go by, some of these people are canceling their orders. That shelf space ain't going to stay empty for us. Somebody's going to come in, customer's going to like that, and we just lost our shelf space. So for us, what we really pride ourselves on is turnaround. We really do want to ship immediately when a customer places an order that day. We want it to go out that day. Sometimes, we have 55 SKUs, so one of the items is going to be on back order, but that's just the name of the game. And for us, it's just a matter of getting these orders out as soon as they come in.
And you're going to continue to utilize Blackbird for the manufacturing of the I guess now the Corojo.
Yeah, we're actually going to move all of our Española core line to them.
Oh wow.
So they're going to be producing our Connecticut, Maduros, and our Corollos.
And then, so is there going to be a kind of a I'm not really a rebend, but kind of a reimagining on your initial core lines to kind of fit with Blackbird?
For sure. We like the personnel at Blackbird. Their master blender is the
Papo.
Papo. He is my boy. I was first introduced to Papo in 1994. He picked me up from the airport. He worked at this manufacturer that our initial cigars were ordered through. He first worked at a company called Anto Tobacco, and that company is not around anymore. But yeah, I've known Papo for 30 years now. And so we trust him with our blends. He created the Connecticut blend for us, but we just ended up taking it and manufacturing it at our own facilities.
Wow. All right. Well, growing. Yeah. You're achieving like the kind of the glow up stage now within the brand of we're here. We're outgrowing with what we can do here, so we need to go
Yeah,
here. But you're really kind of keeping it still within the family a little bit, just because of
absolutely.
those
Well,
reasons.
Daniel, let me tell you, early 2000s, I was a young buck, 25, wet behind the ears. You know, people weren't going to listen to me when I spoke about tobacco. You know what I mean? And my dad, first generation out of Lebanon here, not comfortable behind the camera or talking in public. So that's kind of why we were in the background here. Not really out there with our name, is because we didn't kind of do that marketing. We kind of stayed in our lane, put our head down, grinded, worked hard to get this brand out there. But now I'm 47 years old. I have 30 years in the industry, and that's crazy for me to
Yeah.
say. And in 20 years, shoot, I'll be 67 with 50 years in the industry, and who knows, So I think that now, within the last 10 years, I would say, but I was just so busy with my own life, doing things that I wanted to achieve in life. I was a huge triathlete. My goal was to do an Ironman before I turned 50, and I did do that in 2022 in Montreal. So I was kind of training most of the time, not fully focused on the business because, thank God, business was operating kind of automatically. We were getting the sales that we wanted, so I was kind of pursuing my dreams. But that's all done. Now I'm like some new energy, some new life in the business, and I'm just excited to be out there and putting the product out there.
Excellent. Hold on, I got to turn on the light so people can see my beautiful face.
You got it. All right. Much better.
Just when you think you had everything all set and the show's going to run smoothly, you realize that the light.
All good.
But you see, I think that 30 years in the industry has really set you up for where you are at now and for that growth in the future because you've watched it and you've kind of led that slow and steady race where you didn't try and outgrow where you're at any point. You just kind of let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
And then
We
you've
were
developed
always
that following.
Definitely. We were always that. It was always about volume and consistency for us. It was never about, let's hit them with the most expensive cigar, trying to make the most money out of it and walk away. No, for us, we knew this was going to be a long game, and longevity in the business was what was going to give us that authority to speak about tobacco.
Yeah, and I think you've done a good job. I mean, I'm really enjoying this cigar.
Thank you.
Um, um, you know, it's very good. I went into it with not, really not knowing anything about it. Just kind of let's smoke it blind and see where it's at. I've had the Connecticut before, but it's been a few years since I had it. So this has been kind of a revisit for me and a reintroduction to your brand. So
Great.
but I really enjoy this.
Thank
Like
you.
honestly, like I said, if you would tell me that this was a 16 $18 stick, but it's $8 to $10, I'd be like, no way, this is an $8 to $10 stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with the tobacco that you told me you have in this.
Hmm. Yeah.
There you go. There's a question there, Johnny. Your sticks available in Taxifornia?
Oh yeah, up and down California. California is my biggest state. We're from Los Angeles, so we started here with the distributors in the area, then Moved up north, meaning I have a sales rep who is in-house sales. He handles all of Northern California. He lives up there, and so you'll find our sticks in most retail stores. And if you don't find them, please ask your local tobacconist to carry them.
It's good. Um, I'm really excited to try this Year of the Dragon. And of course, I can't smoke it yet. Gotta wait. Gotta wait. Anto will be on with Brandy and I on Tuesday in a couple weeks, and we're gonna sit down and live review this one. Where Anto will still be sitting in. He'll be sitting there, but on the hot seat section as he has both of us telling him what we think on it.
Oh,
But
please, good or bad feedback is always great feedback for us. You guys are the ones who really have taught us how to blend and how to produce cigars. Our retailers and our end consumers. We got to thank you guys, because without you, we wouldn't be here.
So I'm really looking for that. Like since I got the sticks, I've been staring at them like every day. I'm like, oh, looks pretty. Like, oh no, gotta wait.
Well,
So
they're aging, so
that's right there. They're aging. So I'm really looking forward to having you back on the Tuesday show with Brandy to really go over and smoke the cigar, because as you
same
said,
here.
it has gotten really good feedback, and people who I know that I trust really well have told me that it's fantastic. So
Great.
it's really going in. It's really the hype that's built into the cigar. It's there. So I'm really hoping that it continues up, and it's actually better than what I'm anticipating.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, it is the one of the lower priced Year of the Dragons out there at about $12 a piece.
Do you remember your first cigar you smoked?
100%. 100%.
What was your
Those were
very first one?
So those were our samples that came in from Dominican Republic. I was 17 years old. It was the summer of '95, and it was a Connecticut Toro size cigar. I'll never forget that cigar because I was forever. I just wanted to smoke Toros. I still do. It is still my favorite. Just like the Year of the Dragons are only available in Toros, 6x52. It was a Connecticut Toro samples that I smoked with my friend Johnny at a local park. We went out there, 17, 18 years old, 17 years old because it was the summer of 95. I turned 18 end of that year. And man, we smoked it till at just the butt. Like we were burning our fingers smoking that thing. And as far as being a first time cigar smoker, that was an amazing cigar. I mean, it was smooth, creamy, just full pillow smoke, just really, really nice cigar. I'll never forget it. Maybe it was because I was, my first experience with the cigar, but one of the best experiences of a cigar I've ever had. It was my first time.
Excellent. Question: do you know any of the shops that are in the Inland Empire that carry?
We do have a lot of shops in the Inland Empire that carry our product. Off the top of my head, no, I don't. We have distributors here up and down California, so those stores might also walk into distributors and pick them up that are not necessarily accounts of ours directly. So there
Do you,
are a lot.
do you have a store locator on your website that kind
We
of has some majority available?
I think there is a locator in the sense that we have links to online retailers like Famous Smoke, Cigars International,
Okay.
and PaylessCigars.com. So
Okay.
yeah, we do have links on our website for people to purchase.
All right. There you go, Johnny. Take care of it. You probably just need to walk into your local shop and see if they carry.
Yeah, yeah, that would be the best. Or, foxcigar.com is one of our supporters for the Española cigar. You can find our Españolas at foxcigar.com. And Best Cigar Choices, Best Cigar Prices, sorry, bestcigarprices.com. Also
All right.
carries the Year of the Dragon.
So there you go, Johnny. Uh, yeah. There's always something about that first smoke. Like I remember the first smoke that I had, and it was one of those things that it really changed my life. Where you know I was as a teenager. I know it's hard to believe, but a bit of a degenerate. I did not hang out with the best of people uh, out there, and something about it. It really, after smoking that first cigar, and then the following cigars after that, like my entire attitude about everything in life changed. Where it's like, yeah, I don't need to roll that way, or I don't need to hang out with those people. It's just something about it, and it's something about the cigar, something about the people, the culture, that just kind of it influenced me, I think, in a positive way to get my shit together.
Yeah, you definitely leveled up there. It's a different class for sure, cigar smokers. You have all types of guys, cigar smokers, but what you can say about all of them is, we love discussing the cigar. We love enjoying cigars together. It's always better together.
Yes, I think so. I think it's always better with friends, but
Yep.
yeah, my very first cigar that I smoked was a Padron Natural 2000,
Mm.
and they gave it to me at the shop because I'd skipped school on the day I turned 18, and I drove to Santa Fe, to the cigar shop in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I walked in and I said, I just turned 18 today. I don't know anything about cigars. I'd love to learn. I've been fascinated for a while about cigars. What can you teach me? And so they took me into the humidor. They picked out 3 sticks for me, and so I went to pay, and I go, man, I only have $100 cash on me. I go, is $100 enough to pay for these? I didn't know, because I honestly didn't know. I didn't know how expensive cigars were on
Yeah.
that. And he goes, no, no, no. He's like, look, they're on me. He goes,
Whoa.
smoke them. If you like them, come back. And so I lit up that Padron first because they gave me 3 cigars: the Padron, the Camacho Connecticut, and the Oliva Series G Cameroon were the three cigars he gave me.
Nice
So
cigars.
I lit the Padron up first because I
Nice.
just looked at it and it looked like a cigar that was like, yeah, well, it smelled really good out of the cellophane, and I'm just like, okay. And
Yep, they definitely produce great cigars.
I smoked it, and I was probably about 5 puffs in, and I said I could get used to this. I could get used to this.
Yeah, definitely fun.
Just one of those life changers, and then it sent me down this rabbit hole that you know
Yep, now you're a
financial
part of
destruction.
it. Now you're a voice in the industry, Daniel.
Oh shit! Not even. That was never my intention to be out there. Because when I started, you know, out there, it was kind of like for years on Instagram. It was just like my bit of my personal life, and I also enjoy cigars. So now smoking, to scrubbing all that in 2019 and just posting now smoking photos, to being forced into filming content by by a couple of the big content creating influencers out there. Like, you gotta film. So I'm like, nobody wants to hear what I have to say.
No,
Nobody
we all do. We all do.
Nobody cares what I have to say. To filming content, to then kind of evolving the show, from doing just 5 reviews a week to like I liked, to cutting out the reviews. And it's like I want to talk to people. I want to talk to brand owners like yourself. I want to talk to retail shops out there that are different, not like your standard retail shop. I want to talk to content creators out there who, just not the big ones, but some of the ones that are smaller that don't get the love or recognition and make great content out there, and more people should know about. And it's like, let me use my platform that I built really from zero in 2019 to where it's at now. Let me use it to promote, because I've really, for the vast majority of my smoking career, I've been a fan of. I've been a boutique guy. I've loved small batch cigars. I've loved boutique cigars. I've never been really in on the big brand cigars. And I'm like, I'd like to use my platform to promote these, to really showcase these brands out there that get ignored. That, I want you to go to the other side of the humidor and look at, there's gems over there, but you've got to put those blockers on, because the big fancy displays are going to catch your opinion. You just walk past them. There's gems there. Just trust me on it, and really try to promote that side of the business. And then when the pandemic hit, and then you had this influx of boutique cigar brands that came out there, it was that's when I and I didn't, it was unexpected. I never expected any of that to happen.
Yeah. And, you have the platform. You guys, we really appreciate what you do, and your love and passion for cigars really comes through, Daniel. It really does. And when you do something that you really love to do, it doesn't feel like work. So, congratulations to your success, and thank you again for having me on and getting the word out.
Man, it's my pleasure to have you on. I'm really enjoying this cigar. It's nice. For going in with zero expectations on the cigar, just let's try it out. It's nice. It gives me everything that I want in a cigar that's made with the tobaccos that you said. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting that. It's not heavy or overwhelming on the palate. It's a very nice low. For me personally, it's a nice low. It's a low medium on the body there, and the vitamin N content is also on the lower side. But it does the retro packs a really nice punch to it. That's got this just beautiful sweetness to it. That I feel that a lot of cigars like this lack, where it just blows your nose out with just heavy pepper and spice, where you're hitting me with that pepper in the retro, but you're giving me sweetness that follows behind it, that really acts as a cleanser to the nose.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to catch those notes. That is exactly what the brand kind of was trying to achieve with the sweetness and the spice and the smokiness of the San Andreas. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's really good. Like I was like I was waiting for what kind of earth tones or leather tones am I going to pick up on the palate on the cigar, and really that smokiness, that almost the way that the smokiness comes across on the palate almost acts as if there's like a bit of a fire cured to the
Mm,
that masks some of that raw leather bitterness.
yeah, that's definitely the San Andreas. Definitely its features. Once it's picked and it's hung in the barns, we do definitely use some campfire to kind of cure that tobacco.
Ah, okay, okay. Because I'm like I don't think that there's anything fire cured in this, but going through the process out there
Yeah,
makes
when it changes color from green to that dark creamy kind of oily wrapper that you see, it definitely has to do with the curing process in the barns. We do heat the barns with firewood, and then once it comes out of the barns, it gets put into piles of tobacco, where it's then later fermented for about 6 months.
Are you are you kind of worried about how Mexico has kind of turned and towards the anti-tobacco sentiment that they may be trying to force out some of the farmers in that Veracruz region out there?
You know, Daniel, what I learned a long time ago is there's no time to be worrying about all this legislation that gets passed through tobacco. We've got hit left and right in the last 30 years, especially here being in California. So we really put our head down and just grind it out. I mean, we can't do anything about it. Is, you know, definitely you play the politics game. We're part of the organizations. NATO does a great job of fighting legislation for us. The Cigar Rights of America also does a really good job doing that. So we kind of leave it up to them, and we do what we can, and we just try to,
You
worry about things
you worry
we can
about now, and you kind of make you adapt if you have to.
for
You know,
sure.
when it comes, I get it.
Yeah.
I just that was just more of a curiosity question on my part. There over the last 10 years, seeing the way that Mexico has really kind of moved with, especially with a lot of their legislation towards that anti-tobacco side of things, but also that's a big cat. The the San Andreas is a big cash crop for Mexico in general, and I'm like, why would you as a country want to limit something that's a massive export that is also, you know, it's not cheap. It's
Yeah.
expensive tobacco.
It's definitely a control-based issue. That the government wants to definitely control a lot of the tobacco that goes in and out of the country. I don't blame them, but just make it easier for us to do business.
Yeah, totally makes sense on that. On that, yeah, I think you've done a fantastic job with the cigar. The blend is great. Definitely. I got to say, if you're watching and you're at your local shop and you're passing by and you see the Espanola line, pick it up. I mean, this is really good. And and those of you that are watching know me, know I don't throw that around for everybody. Even when get guests on, if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you, it's not for me. I don't like it. But I really enjoy this because they're really, the cigar looks and comes across very simple, but this blend is very complex. There's a lot going on with the blend that I love. The flavor, the way that the flavors move about with on my palate, the the smoke, the retro, the aromatics, everything about it. There's just something always going on with the cigar that keeps that's keeping my palate like wanting to continue to work on it and figure out more.
Thank you. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you enjoying the cigar.
What has been one of the biggest things over the last 30 years that you learned maybe a long time ago that now comes into play? You're like, I'm
Ooh,
glad I learned that then.
big thing is patience. In this industry, especially working with a factory that's in another country, you really kind of have to work on their terms. And working with Dominicans and in Dominican Republic, everything is kind of just chill. We'll do it mañana. We'll take care of it tomorrow. Whereas here, we're always just like thinking about, or because I'm already planning 2026. For heaven's sake, it's like it's crazy. We're just running around here, trying to make ends meet, and just thinking about the future. Where they're just enjoying it, enjoying life, and being like, it. You just have to give it some time and patience, and so I've learned a lot of patience in this industry. That's for sure.
Was the Cigar Fest 2 weeks ago? Was that your first time out there for that event?
No, no, we've been with Smoker Friendly um, um, and Payless Cigars, which is their online retailer, for a very long time. We've been working with them 15, 20 years now. My first show out there was 2013 or 2014.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
pr- Primarily, we were showing the JM's Dominicans because that does really well in their Smoker Friendly franchise. But since 2016, I've had a really big push on the Española line. 2016 being its 20th year in the industry, we did kind of a relaunch of the brand in 2016, and instead of like an anniversario. And so, yeah, we've been really focusing on Española line since then. Ever since COVID, we took a break. We didn't do COVID. It just happens that the show always lands on my wedding anniversary. August 23rd is a wedding anniversary. So I've often brought my wife out there to the show, to the festival. And the years that we didn't do it was COVID. And then 2021, I was signed up for my Ironman race, which got canceled in Montreal because Canada was just restricting on people coming in the country. And so in 2022, I actually did my race. And then last year, we didn't make it on time, but we're back in full force from now
Excellent.
on. Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Yeah. It was good as, you know, I, because when Ryan and I were walking around and we saw the booth, I was like, oh, I go, we got to go say hi to Anto over there. And he's like, oh, you know him. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have him on the show. He's like, I'm going to have him on my, I'm like, oh, perfect. Let's go talk. We got to go say hi to him.
That was
Yeah.
awesome. It was great talking to you guys out there for sure. Meeting you definitely brought a comfort level to the show.
Yeah. And, it's one of those things, that's kind of like, that's kind of like one of my hometown shows to go from, being from the area out there,
Hmm.
definitely not the biggest content creator, in the area, because you do have the boys from the dojo that are massive, you know, they're worldwide.
Yeah, for
Me,
sure.
me,
For
no,
sure.
I've not hit that level of success yet that Eric has achieved through the dojo, but, yeah, it was out there, but I love it because the one thing that I've noticed, I've gone to the events uh, since 2016. I've attended the event because that's when I moved. That's when I moved from New Mexico up here. Was in 2015, but I didn't go to the event in 2015. But when going up there is seeing the amount of brands and how they've expanded from it being really a show where it was mainly showcasing a lot of big brands and not a lot of small brands to now the small brands that they've been bringing into the event has been fantastic, and I've loved seeing it because it's introducing people to a lot of brands out there who and especially a lot of brands that I was telling people about back in 2019, 2020, that these are good brands that are now starting to get their footing in, and it's really people are starting to recognize the brands and who they are out there, and I think that's a great show to really showcase to to a lot of dedicated smokers in the mountain region who tend to kind of get ignored.
Yeah, definitely added another layer to the show. You have people like us, boutique, all the way to the people who kind of sponsor the show. You know, like the Drew States and the Rocky Patels.
Yeah. Did you go to the event? Did you go to the uh, um, special event the night before for the cannabis?
Oh no,
Okay.
no, no. So it was my anniversary on that Friday night, right before the show. So me and my wife went out to dinner, celebrated our 21st year. Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations on that.
Appreciate you.
And did she smoke cigars as well?
She's the opposite. She can't stand it. Um, her father has been a lifelong cigar smoker. So when we first got introduced, he was like, "You're gonna be my son-in-law." It's like cigars for the rest of my life, you know. But yeah, she's been around smoke her whole life, and she's been somebody who's against it, and she
Okay.
doesn't like it at all.
All right.
Pays the bills though.
But it pays the bill, so she's against it. But you know what? As
she
long
she
as you as long
definitely
as you got the cash coming in,
she appreciates it, but she doesn't like it.
that's awesome. Oh, this was fantastic out there. Man, I really enjoyed this cigar. Fantastic. Definitely. I think you guys are a very slept on and underrated and undervalued brand out there that I think people should really check out. If you're at your local shop and you see them, really, I'm just telling you my personal opinion. Check them out. Check it out. I really enjoy this Maduro. It's very good. I would highly recommend it if you're a Maduro smoker or a dark smoker, but you don't like overly heavy. You don't like overly heavy cigars. This is not an over heavily cigar, but the flavors they're very heavy on the mouth and will provide your mouth hole with a lot of pleasure.
Yeah, definitely a medium smoke with full flavor.
It's good, very good on that. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story and talking about the brand out there. Anything else you'd like to talk about or cover?
No, you could follow us at JM Tobacco on Instagram. Look for the Española Corojo line that's going to be introduced at the PCA. So May 1st of next year, it'll start shipping out to retailers. And if you haven't tried the cigar, yeah, for $8 to $10, it's a beautiful cigar. Ask your local retailer to carry it, and yeah, or look for some of the online retailers and give it a shot. I don't think you're gonna. We're very proud of it. So I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
I don't think you'll be disappointed either on that. And of course, everything JM Cigars is down in the description. I made it easy for everybody there, so you can easily connect on all social media platforms with them by clicking the direct links down in the description. I put them down there for you guys, so you can go follow them. And if you got any questions, you can for sure shoot Anto a message or an email, and he's very quick at getting by. He's very quick at getting back, shockingly quick. On that, yeah, this was very good. I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks over on Instagram
Yeah, looking forward to it.
for raw cigar reviews, and we will be smoking the Year of the Dragon. So if you're interested in that smoke, definitely gonna want to tune in to find out what Brandy and I think about that one. For sure. On it, she's a tougher judge than I am.
We're ready.
That. Man, this was fantastic having you on. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I appreciate you. Next Monday night, the return of the Vibe himself, Cigar Rockstar, who'll be going over his Cigar Rocktober event taking place in October, as well as being a board member for the first annual Dallas Smoke Fest going on in November, which I'm also a part of. So we will be talking with him about that. Another guy I love having on, and we'll try and keep this conversation to less than 3 hours, unlike last time he was on. And that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Chat, you guys rocked it as usual. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And Anto, thank you, sir, so much. I appreciate you coming on. And thank you for the amazing smoke, man. I'm
man, thank you. Appreciate you having me on, and thanks everybody for tuning in and watching.
So everybody, until next week, take care. Be safe out there. Don't do anything Anto and I want to do because we're sweet and innocent boys, and we will see you later. Everybody, peace.